Hello, children. Today we are going to study a story, Madam Rides the Bus, written by Valli Kannan. This is a sensitive account of an 8-year-old girl, Valli Ammai, Valli for short, who travels alone for the first time outside her village by a bus. She did not have friends to play with, so she would spend her time by looking at the outside affairs going on the street. A bus ran between her village and the nearest town. It gave her endless joy to look at the new set of passengers each time the bus crossed by. Thus, she developed a deep desire to travel by bus. Let's move on to the chapter and see what happens then. Here it starts. There was a girl named Valli Ammai who was called Valli for short. She was 8 years old and very curious about things. Her favorite pastime was standing in the front doorway of her house watching what was happening in the street outside. There were no playmates of her own age on her street, and this was about all she had to do. So, the story is about an 8-year-old girl named Valli Ammai. She is called as Valli. Just like any other child of her age, she was eager to know about new and unknown things. And she should spend all day looking at the busy street outside, as she has no friends to play with. So, the only option she has was looking at what is going on outside or in the street. But for Valli, standing at the front door was every bit as enjoyable as any of the elaborate games other children played. Watching the street gave her many new, unusual experiences. The most fascinating thing of all was the bus that traveled between her village and the nearest town. It passed through her street each hour, once going to the town and once coming back. The sight of the bus, filled each time with a new set of passengers, was a source of unending joy for Valli. So, even though she couldn't play with friends, looking at the street, looking at the outside affairs itself was much entertaining for her. That itself gave her much pleasure. Than any other big games played by children of her age, this thing, that means watching at the bus which passed through her street, gave her much pleasure. That bus crossed the village at an hourly interval, that means once while going to the town and the other while coming back. So the scene of the bus itself was much exciting for her. That itself made an unending joy in the mind of Valli. Day after day, she watched the bus, and gradually a tiny wish crept into her head and grew there. She wanted to ride on that bus, even if just once. So, as she is watching the bus daily, a tiny wish crept or came into her head, and it grew from there. What was that tiny wish she had? She wanted to ride on that bus, at least for once. This wish became stronger and stronger until it was an overwhelming desire. So that wish which crept into her head became stronger and stronger, and it became a desire for her, unending or unstoppable desire in her mind to do the same, to ride on that bus. Valli would stare wistfully at the people who got on and off the bus when it stopped at the street corner. Their faces would kindle in her longings, dreams, and hopes. So Valli would stare at wistfully means longingly, wishfully, at the people who entered and got out of the bus. And she looked at their faces. Their faces would kindle in her longings. Kindle means set alight. She was really fascinated by looking at the people's faces who would step out of the bus. So her desire grew to the extent that she would be jealous if any of her friends would go by bus and say their experiences. Look at the lines. If one of her friends happened to ride the bus and tried to describe the sights of the town to her, Valli would be too jealous to listen and would shout in English, proud, proud. So, if she hears about such kind of any experiences, experience of having getting an opportunity to travel in bus, she'll just say, or she'll feel jealous on that friend, and she will utter proud, proud. Really, while she says such a word, such an English word, proud, neither she nor her friends knew the actual meaning of the word proud. This is really showing one of the nature of village people who tries to say English words without knowing the real meaning or actual meaning. It shows that their eagerness or their longing to study English or study another language. Okay, so she will say the word proud, proud if someone says about their bus journey. The next. Over many days and months, Vani listened carefully to conversations between her neighbors and people who regularly used the bus, and she also asked a few discreet questions here and there. This way, she picked up various small details about the bus journey. The town was 6 miles from her village. The fare was 30 paise one way, which is almost nothing at all. She heard one well dressed man say, but to Valli, who scarcely saw that much money from one month to the next, it seemed a fortune. The trip to the town took 45 minutes. On reaching town, if she stayed in her seat and paid another 30 paise, she could return home on the same bus. This meant that she could take the 1 o'clock afternoon bus, reach the town at 1:45, and be back home by 2:45. On and on went her thoughts as she calculated and recalculated, planned and replanned. So, over many days and months, in order to fulfill her desire of traveling by bus, she started preparing. Okay, she needed to be prepared with all sorts of informations. So what she did, she carefully listened to the conversations between her neighbors and people who regularly used the bus. And not only that, she asked a few discreet questions. Discreet means careful questions to them, and collected all the informations she needed for a bus journey. So what all details she collected is explained here. So what are the small details she collected about the bus journey? First one, the town was 6 miles from her village. That's the first thing. The town was 6 miles. Then the fare was 30 paise one way. So in order to reach the town, she should pay 30 paise. That's the next thing she found. One way, which is almost nothing at all. One person said that, oh, it's a very small amount. But for her, it was a big amount. She heard one well-dressed man say, but to Valli, who scarcely saw that much money, she didn't even see such a big amount. So it was a great amount for her, and to earn that much amount means it's a great fortune. Then the trip to the town took 45 minutes. That's the next thing. That's the third thing she found. What's that? It will take 45 minutes to reach the town. Then on reaching town, if she stayed in her seat and paid another 30 paise, she could return home on the same bus. So if she is giving 30 paise more, she can come back in the same bus within 45 minutes. Okay, then this meant that she could take 1 o'clock afternoon bus, reach the town at 1:45, and be back home by 2:45. So She calculated everything. Every calculations are done, recalculations are being done, planning is being made, replanning is being made, everything is set. Okay, so she calculated to save that much amount. She made all these calculations to save that much amount, and she decided to sneak out without anyone noticing it. Okay, then, well, one fine spring day, that afternoon bus was just on the point of leaving the village and turning into the main highway when a small voice was heard shouting, "Stop the bus! Stop the bus!" And a tiny hand was raised commandingly. So, after replanning and recalculations, everything, finally that day came, the riding day. Bus was on its usual route to the main highway when they heard a shouting voice. A very cute and small shouting voice is being heard. Small voice. What was that voice? "Stop the bus! Stop the bus!" And when they looked, they saw a tiny hand raising commandingly. Whose tiny hand it may be? Yes, our Valli. Huh? Then the bus slowed down to a crawl, and the conductor, sticking his head out of the door, said, "Hurry then, tell whoever it is to come quickly." "It's me," shouted Valli. So the bus conductor asked her to tell others also to come soon. They can't wait for much time. At that time, what Valli said, "It's me. I'm only there to travel. I'm the one who has to get on." By now, the bus had come to a stop, and the conductor said, "Oh, really? You don't say so." "Yes, I simply have to go to town," said Valli, still standing outside the bus. "And here is my money." So, the conductor couldn't believe it. So that's why he asked, "Oh, really? You don't say so. Don't say like that." So she said, "I simply want to go to town. And here, take my money. Here is my money." By showing that amount she saved, she said that she wants to go to the town simply. She showed him some coins, but not the point. She's still standing outside. She's not getting onto the bus. Okay, but first you must get on the bus," said the conductor, and he stretched out a hand to help her. "Never mind," she said. "I can get on by myself. You don't have to help me." So, by seeing Valli standing outside, the conductor said, Okay, you can go simply to the town. It's not a problem. But in order to go to the town, you should first get on the bus. And to help her, she's a tiny girl, isn't it? So, in order to help her get into the bus, he stretched out a hand. But what she said, "Never mind, I can get on by myself. You don't have to help me." By saying that, she entered the bus. Then, the conductor was a jolly sort, fond of joking. "Oh, please don't be angry with me, my fine madam," he said. "Here, have a seat right up there in front. Everybody move aside, please. Make way for madam." It was the slack time of day, and there were only 6 or 7 passengers on the bus. They were all looking at Valli and laughing with the conductor. Valli was overcome with shyness. Avoiding everyone's eyes, she walked quickly to an empty seat and sat down. Slack time means a time when there is no much work, not much busy. Okay, so the conductor was a very funny man. So he said, "Oh, please don't be angry with me, my madam, my fine madam." He called her, or he addressed her madam, and said, "Others, here, have a seat right up there in front. Everybody please move aside. Make a way for madam. Let madam sit somewhere." So, as it's a slack time, as it's not a busy time, there were only 6 or 7 passengers on the bus. By hearing all these, so as she is having first time such a journey, she was a little bit shy. Everyone's eyes were at Valli. While everyone was laughing, she became a little more shy. So she hurried to a seat, which was an empty seat. She sat there. Okay, then. "May we start now, madam?" the conductor asked, smiling. Then he blew his whistle twice, and the bus moved forward with a roar. So, in a funny way, the conductor asked, smile with a smiling face. He asked, "Madam, may we start now?" After that, he blew the whistle twice, and the bus started moving forward by making a roaring sound. Then, it was a new bus. Its outside painted a gleaming white with some green stripes along the sides. So she watched that bus at first. It was a new bus. Outside, it was the painting as a gleaming white in color with some green stripes along the sides. Then inside, the overhead bars shone like silver. Directly in front of Valli, above the windshield, there was a beautiful clock. The seats were soft and luxurious. So the bus was new. That's why overhead the bars, silver bars were shining, and there was a clock just in front of Valli, and the seats were extremely comfortable. Outside was painted in glowing white with stripes of green along the sides. That's all. Then Valli devoured everything with her eyes. But when she started to look outside, she found her view cut off by a canvas blind that covered the lower part of her window. So she stood up on the seat and peered over the blind. Devoured means read quickly and eagerly. She started to devour, that means read everything quickly with her eyes. Then she started to look outside. But she found that she can't see everything very clear because there was a canvas blind. That means a canvas partition is there. She's a small girl, isn't it? She was too short, and the window blinds were covering or obstructing her view. So she decided to stand up to be able to see everything outside very clear. Okay, then the bus was now going along the bank of a canal. The road was very narrow. On one side there was a canal, and beyond it palm trees, grassland, distant mountains, and the blue sky. On the other side was a deep ditch, and then acres and acres of green fields. Green, as far as the eye could see. So the bus was on a very narrow road. On one side, the scenes seen by Valli is being explained here. On one side there was a canal, and beyond it, what all things, trees, distant mountains, and large blue sky could be seen. And the other hand, at the other side, there was greenery all around. As far as the eye could see, it was complete green fields. Oh, it was all so wonderful. Suddenly, she was startled by a voice. "Listen, child," said the voice. "You shouldn't stand like that. Sit down." Sitting down, she looked to see who had spoken. It was an elderly man who had honestly been concerned for her. But she was annoyed by his attention. So Valli was enjoying the scene outside. Oh, what a wonderful scene it is. So as she was watching all those things, suddenly she became shocked of hearing a voice, startled or surprised of hearing a voice. What was that voice? "Listen, child, you shouldn't stand like that. Sit down." That voice, or someone asked her to sit down. So by hearing that, she sat down and tried to see who told her so. She looked and saw an old man, an elderly man, and he was really concerned for her. That's why he said such a word. But she became angry by seeing his attention towards her. "There's nobody here who's a child," she said haughtily. "I have paid my 30 paise like everyone else." The conductor chimed in. "Oh, sir, but this is a very grown up madam. Do you think a mere girl could pay her own fare and travel to the city all alone?" "So there's nobody here who is a child," she said haughtily, proudly. Very proudly, she said, "There is nobody here, a child. I am not a child. I have paid my 30 paise like everybody else here." At this time, the conductor chimed in by making a particular noise. The conductor said, "Oh, sir, this is not a child. This is a grown-up madam." And he also said that, do you think a mere girl could pay her own fare and travel to the city all alone? Do you think a simple girl or a tiny girl can go to city alone by paying an amount? Huh? So this happened in case of this girl. So this is not a child. This is a grown-up madam, he said to that elderly man. Valli shot an angry glance at the conductor and said, I am not a madam. Please remember that. And you have not yet given me my ticket. And by hearing this, Valli became a little more angry and he looked at that conductor and said, I am not a madam also. And please remember to give my ticket. The conductor said, I will remember. The conductor said, mimicking her tone. So, trying to mimic her tone, he said, I will remember. Everyone laughed, and gradually, Valli too joined in the laughter. Everybody laughed, and Valli also started laughing. By hearing the mimicking tone of the conductor, she also laughed. Then the conductor punched a ticket and handed it to her. Just sit back and make yourself comfortable. Why should you stand when you have paid for a seat? Because I want to, she answered, standing up again. So the conductor handed her ticket and asked, just sit back and make yourself comfortable. And you have paid for your ticket. So why should you stand up? Huh? She said very proudly that she wanted to stand up. That's why she stands. Then continuing. But if you stand on the seat, you may fall and hurt yourself when the bus makes a sharp turn on or hits a bump. That's why we want you to sit down, child. I am not a child, I tell you, she said irritably. I am 8 years old. Of course, how stupid of me. 8 years. The bus stopped. So again the conductor asked her to sit down and he explained why he asked her to sit. What's the reason? She may fall and hurt herself. When the bus makes sharp turns and when the bus hits a bump, she'll fall down. That's why they want Valli to sit. Again, the word child is used by the conductor, and that made her angry. And she says, I am not a child, I tell you. Irritably, she said, I am 8 years old. I am not a child, I am 8 years. How stupid of me, 8 years old. So the conductor acted himself as a stupid man and said, oh, I am stupid. I didn't understand that you were 8 years old. Oh God. Then the bus stopped. Some new passengers got on and the conductor got busy for a time. Afraid of losing her seat, Valli finally sat down. So after some time, the bus stopped on another bus stop, and some other passengers got on the bus, and the conductor became a little busy giving tickets to that people and all. So by seeing another people entering the bus, she became a little afraid of losing her seat if she stands up. So Valli finally sat down on her seat. Then an elderly woman came and sat beside her. Are you all alone, dear? She asked Valli as the bus started again. So at this time, an elderly woman came and sat near Valli, and that elderly woman asked to Valli, Are you alone? Are you going alone? Valli found the woman absolutely repulsive. Such big holes she had in her earlobes and such ugly earrings in them. And she could smell the betel nut the woman was chewing and see the betel juice that was threatening to spill over her lips at any moment. Ugh, who could be sociable with such a person? So she looked at that lady. She thought, oh, how can I like this lady? Why should I be sociable with this lady? That figure is been explained here. The figure of that lady is explained here. She had big earlobes and ugly earrings were being worn by that lady. And as she chew betel nuts, some juice of betel nuts is about to come out or spill over her lips at any moment. So it was an ugly figure for Valli. and she thought, how could people be sociable with such kind of figure? Then, yes, I'm traveling alone, she answered curtly. And I have got a ticket too. Yes, she is on her way to town, said the conductor, with a 30 paise ticket. So she answered to that lady, yes, I'm traveling alone and I have got ticket also. By saying this, the conductor entered. Yes, she is on her way to town and she got a 30 paise ticket also. Conductor interfered. Oh, why don't you mind your own business? Said Valli. So Valli became angry again and she asked the conductor to mind his own business. But she laughed all the same and the conductor laughed too. But the old woman went on with her drivel. Drivel means silly nonsense. Is it proper for such a young person to travel alone? Do you know exactly where you are going in town? What's the street? What's the house number? So this elderly lady started asking some other silly questions, but she became much tensed thinking about Valli, and she asked, "Is it? Do you think that is it a proper thing to travel to town alone? Do you know exactly where you are going in town, and do you know the street name or the house number and all?" At this time, Valli answered, "You needn't bother about me. I can take care of myself," Valli said, turning her face towards the window and stared out. She looked out by saying this. Her first journey. What careful, painstaking, elaborate plans she had to make for it. She had thriftily saved whatever stray coins came her way, resisting every temptation to buy peppermints, toys, balloons, and the like, and finally she had saved a total of 60 paise. How difficult it had been, particularly that day at the village fair, but she had resolutely stifled a strong desire to ride the merry-go-round even though she had the money. Thriftily means spent money carefully. So this is her first journey. After much careful, painstaking, elaborate plans, she made it. She had thriftily, very carefully saved every stray coin, every anna is being saved. She stopped all her temptations to buy peppermints, toys, balloons, and such kind of things. And that's why he saved, and that's how she saved that 60 paise. It was very difficult for her to save or to control herself on that day of village fair. Her strong desire to ride the merry-go-round, everything has been stopped, has been suppressed on that day particularly. So after so much of efforts, she finally saved that 60 paise. Then, after she had enough money saved, her next problem was how to slip out of the house without her mother's knowledge. So, after saving the amount, the next problem before her was how to get out of the bus without her mother's knowledge. That was also being managed. Look at the next line. But she managed this without too much difficulty. Every day after lunch, her mother would nap from about 1 to 4 or so. Valli always used these hours for her excursions as she stood looking from the doorway of her house or sometimes even ventured out into the village. Today, these same hours could be used for her first excursion outside the village. So usually her mother sleeps would take small nap. Nap means small sleep from 1 to 4. At this time, usually she'll be doing that excursions, going for excursions. That means sometimes she stood out outside the door, looking at the street and all. Sometimes she'll be going out very cautiously into the village at this time, and the same house is being selected for her excursion, first excursion outside the village. That means for the bus journey. Her mother's napping time. Then the bus rolled on now, cutting across a bare landscape, now rushing through a tiny hamlet or past an odd wayside shop. Sometimes the bus seemed on the point of gobbling up another vehicle that was coming towards them, or a pedestrian crossing the road. But lo, somehow it passed on smoothly, leaving all obstacles safely behind. Trees came running towards them, but then stopped. The bus reached them and simply stood there helpless for a moment by the side of the road before rushing away in the other direction. Now the bus reached an area which did not have trees. It was barren land with a few shrubs here and there. Then it crossed a residential area and a shop by the road. Then the bus went with high speed. Valli thought that it would swallow the upcoming vehicles and even the pedestrians. But the bus went on smoothly. It seemed like the trees were rushing towards the bus, and sometimes it would stop as soon as the bus reached them. And when the bus crossed them, it appeared as if the trees were running away from the bus. Gobbling means swallowing. Hamlet means small settlement with a few houses. Then, suddenly, Valli clapped her hands with glee. A young cow, tail high in the air, was running very fast, right in the middle of the road, right in front of the bus. The bus slowed to a crawl, and the driver sounded his horn loudly again and again. But the more he honked, the more frightened the animal became, and the faster it galloped, always right in front of the bus. Valli was filled with happiness and joy. Suddenly, what's the reason? A cow came running in the middle of the road, right in front of the bus, with the tail high in the air. The bus slowed down to give her way, and the driver honked repeatedly. But unfortunately, the cow became terrified and ran in front of the bus. When the driver blew more horns, the cow became more terrified and kept on running faster and faster. By seeing all this, Valli clapped her hands with glee. Glee means happiness. Somehow, this was very funny to Valli. She laughed and laughed until there were tears in her eyes. "Hey lady, haven't you laughed enough?" called the conductor. "Better save some for tomorrow." At last the cow moved off the road, and soon the bus came to a railroad crossing. So the Valli found that incident of that cow very much humorous, and she laughed a lot, and that brought tears in her eyes. The conductor is teasing her by telling her that it's enough for her for that day, and she can save some laughter for the next day. Somehow the cow went off the road on its own, and the bus stopped at a level crossing from where the train was visible as a tiny dot. A speck of a train, speck of means a tiny small dot of a train could be seen in the distance, growing bigger and bigger as it drew near. Then it rushed past the crossing gate with a tremendous roar and rattle, shaking the bus. Then the bus went on and passed the train station. From there it travelled a busy, well laid out shopping street, and turning entered a wider thoroughfare. Such big, bright looking shops! What glittering display of clothes and other merchandise! Such big crowds! Struck dumb with wonder, Valli gaped at everything. As the train came nearer, it grew larger, and it passed with a huge roar, shaking the entire road and the bus. Then the bus started moving again and reached a narrow street. Then it reached a wider road later, and there were big and brightly lit shops on the road that displayed merchandise. That means merchandise means things for sale. Then Valli was much attracted or much surprised of seeing all these things for her for the first time. Then because she is seeing these kind of lights, decorations and all for the first time in her life, she glanced at each and everything around. Then the bus stopped and everyone got off except Valli. "Hey lady," said the conductor, Aren't you ready to get off? This is as far as your 30 paise takes you. No, Valli said. I am going back on this same bus. She took another 30 paise from her pocket and handed the coins to the conductor. Why? Is something the matter? No, nothing is the matter. I just felt like having a bus ride, that's all. Don't you want to have a look at the sights now that you are here? All by myself? Oh, I'd be much too afraid. Greatly amused by the girl's way of speaking, the conductor said, But you weren't afraid to come in the bus? Nothing to be afraid of that, she answered. So the bus reached the bus station. Everyone except Valli got off the bus. Then the conductor informed her that this is the last stop and she can travel only up to here for the 30 paise she paid. At this time, she said that she is not coming out from the bus and she gave another 30 paise and said that she want to go back the same bus itself. By seeing this, conductor became surprised and he asked, is there any problem? She said, no, I just want a bus ride, that's all. And that's why I came by myself. And the conductor asked, are you not afraid of doing that? She said, what's the need of being afraid to travel alone? Nothing to be afraid of about that, she answered. Then, why not go to that stall over there and have something to drink? Nothing to be afraid of about that either. Oh no, I couldn't do that. Well then, let me bring you a cold drink. No, I don't have enough money. Just give me my ticket, that's all. It will be my treat and not cost you anything. No, she said firmly. Please, no. So the conductor became really fascinated of hearing or seeing the character of this little Valli, and he said, oh, anyhow you are going back, so why can't you go and have something to drink from that stall? There's no need to be afraid for going there. She said, no, I can't have that because I don't have money for that. Conductor offered a cold drink. He said that you need not pay me for that. She said, no, I don't want that. She said firmly. Really? Her stern character, her proud nature is being shown through her denial of that drink by the conductor. The conductor shrugged and they waited until it was the time for the bus to begin the return journey. Again, there weren't many passengers. Now they started their return journey and there were only fewer passengers. Then, won't your mother be looking for you? The conductor asked when he gave the girl her ticket. No, no one will be looking for me, she said. The conductor asked, won't your mother be searching you? And she said, no. Then the bus started and again there were the same wonderful sights. Valli wasn't bored in the slightest and greeted everything with the same excitement she had felt the first time. So again she started seeing the wonderful sights outside. She was not bored to see the same thing again. Again with that same excitement she started looking outside. But suddenly she saw a young cow lying dead by the roadside, just where it had been struck by some fast moving vehicle. Isn't that the same cow that ran in front of the bus on our trip to town? She asked the conductor. So, an unfortunate scene is seen here. A dead cow, a young cow, is lying dead by the roadside. She asked, isn't that same cow which ran in front of her bus? The conductor nodded. He said yes. And she was overcome with sadness. By hearing that answer, she became so sad. What had been a lovable, beautiful creature just a little while ago had now suddenly lost its charm and its life and looked so horrible, so frightening as it lay there, legs spread eagled, a fixed stare and its lifeless eyes, blood all over. So, Valli confirmed that is the same cow itself, and she wondered how lovable and playful creature it was. Now it's transformed into a horrible and lifeless one. So, a sad thought came to her mind. The bus moved on. The memory of the dead cow haunted her, dampening her enthusiasm. She no longer wanted to look out of the window. She sat thus glued to her seat until the bus reached her village at 3:40. She stood up and stretched herself. Then she turned to the conductor and said, "Well, sir, I hope to see you again." "Okay, madam," he answered her, smiling. "Whenever you feel like a bus ride, come and join us. And don't forget to bring your fare." She laughed and jumped down from the bus. Then away she went, turning straight for home. So the sight of the dead cow made her much sad. It robbed of her complete enthusiasm. So she stopped looking out of the window. She sat silently on her seat until she reached home at 3:40. So while she is going, she said goodbye to that conductor, and the conductor said that if she wants to or if she feels to go for a bus ride, she can join them at any time, and don't forget to bring the fare also. Anyway, she is going back, or she went home. Then, when she entered her house, she found her mother awake and talking to one of Vali's aunts, the one from South Street. This aunt was a real chatterbox, never closing her mouth once she started talking. "And where have you been?" said her aunt when Vali came in. She spoke very casually, not expecting a reply. So Vali just smiled, and her mother and aunt went on with their conversation. So when she reached home, she found that her mother already awake because one of her aunts reached there, who is living there at the South Street. That aunt is a chatterbox. That means she never closes her mouth when she started talking. And that aunt asked her, "Where have you been?" And without waiting for an answer from Vali, she continued her talking with her mother. That means Vali's mother. And Vali stood there and watched them. "Yes, you are right," her mother said. "So many things in our midst and in the world outside. How can we possibly know about everything? And even when we do know about something, we often can't understand it completely, can we?" So her mother and that aunt is talking about some worldly things. Yes, there are so many things in the middle of this world which we are not able to understand, and there are certain things which we can understand, and we can understand it completely. So such kind of many things are there in this world. They are getting some a bit of philosophical. At this time, Vali is answering for that. "Oh yes," breathed Vali. "What?" asked her mother. "What's that you say?" "Oh," said Vali, "I was just agreeing with what you said about things happening without our knowledge." "Just a chit of a girl she is," said her aunt. "And yet look how she pokes her nose into our conversation, just as though she were a grown lady." Vali smiled to herself. She didn't want them to understand her smile, but then there wasn't much chance of that, was there? So she was answering to that great fact. I was just agreeing what you said. There are certain things in this world which we are not able to understand," Valli said. By hearing this, that aunt said that, "Look at that girl, why she is poking her nose." Pokes her nose means takes an interest in something that doesn't concern. Okay. So why she look at that girl, she is talkative, and that's why she is poking nose into our conversation. Like a grown lady, she talks, that aunt said to Valli's mother. At this time, Valli smiled to herself. She knew what she was referring to, because after all, no one knew about her bus journey. Not only that, she believed that there's no chance for them to know about her bus journey, and there's no chance for them to understand why she said, "Yes, they are right." What's the fact she understood by that bus journey? About the real fact of life is been understood. At this tender age, she was understanding the mystery of life and death, in her own terms. So, that's a chapter, Madam Rides the Bus. Please read the complete textbook and take down the notes. Thank you.